When you,
Question, you have a question?
yeah, when you are around someone and working with someone who is going through an emotional experience akin to depression, and that's something that you saw coming, other than working internally with your own state, how do you work with the person in front of you?
So if somebody's emotional or
Emotionally depressed. Yeah.
I
How
don't
do you,
think I
how
know
do you
any,
work?
I don't think I know anybody who's emotionally depressed, do I? Can't remember, doesn't ring a bell. What about you?
Yeah, the organic intelligence methods work really well for that kind of situation.
Why don't you relate stress as to,
Yeah, so organic intelligence function works really well with someone who's depressed, also anxious, fearful. And one of the first things you might do is have the person invite them to let their eyes go where they want to go, which could be down. Depressed people often like to look down, so it's kind of like inviting them to do that without telling them to do that, but just see if that's what they do. And then ask them if looking down gives them a little comfort. And if they say yes, then you can say, oh, where do you feel a little bit more comfort or a little less pain? And then you see if they can access themselves through their body sensations. They may not, which is fine. They may start telling you a whole big story at that point. And then to work with them would be to, if you hear anything that has a little bit of a positive ring to it, you would amplify it. You would ask them to pause a minute and say, oh, I heard you just say this thing, and it sounds pleasant. It sounds like that could be supportive to you. It sounds like something you like or something you appreciate. And you amplify anything you hear that's more on a positive bent. And then you could help them orient themselves to their space and say, hey, is there anything where you are right now, where you're sitting right now or standing right now, whatever the case may be? Something, can you see with your eyes something you like? Or something that when you look at it, it makes you feel a little better. And you just keep growing this positive muscle, you could say, to focus their attention on something that's better than what they are focusing on. Because a depressed person is focusing on really negative things. And they can't seem to stop it. So then it's an education to be anything that's a little better than what they're focusing on. And it could be something like, oh, well, what part of your body has no pain in it right now whatsoever? And then they could focus on maybe the tip of their elbow for a few seconds only, because the mind will go negative pretty fast. So if they say, oh, well, my elbow, I don't feel anything there, you could say, great, you have an elbow that has no pain or is neutral. And by the time you take another breath, you could say, is there another spot? And you just help get the attention moving to places that have either positive or neutral affect.
Yeah, I recall you working with me in just that way when I had the breakup with Kyve.
Yeah.
And I did not access that when I was with this person. So thank you for the reminder.
Yep. You're welcome.
Noah, do you have something you'd like to talk about tonight?
Sure.
Good.
Yeah, last night we talked about Rudra meditation, and today I went to meet in person and got instructions on how to do it. So that was quick. It worked. It worked really.
Went to see Shake-Up?
Sophia?
Sophia, yeah.
Sophia, yeah.
And I struggle with names in general. It's more of a confidence thing. But yeah, thank you for helping me with her name.
Oh, I also struggle with names. I just had known her for about 35 years, so I remember her name now.
Yeah, she mentioned that you had known each other a long time, and yeah, the name thing for me has been a funny experience. For a long time, I couldn't remember the name of the symptoms, the term for it, for forgetting names. It's called anomic aphasia. Now I remember. It took a long time to learn it, but I look at it like everything else is temporary.
Well, because you'll be dead one day.
Yeah,
That's real temporary.
exactly. But it was I wanted to share that last night when I was getting the instruction, the guidance from Jan, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was here last night.
Well, he was the one that yeah Cadre. There he is.
Huh?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I was just sharing about getting the guidance for the Rudra meditation, following the breath down in and then back out the center. And as I was doing that last night, I noticed the energy moving in some of my blocked areas released in a way that was really fantastic. So I thought that was a good thing to share. And the instruction today was very encouraging as well.
I don't know if I mentioned this the other night, but if I didn't, it's worth saying that I studied with Yogi Bhajan for 12 years and learned so many different practices and exercises. And then there were 5 other traditions I studied in. So when I learned what we call Rudra meditation from a yogi named Jim Torti, who was a student of Rudy's, I never did any other practice because it was so effective. I never needed to do any other practice again. So I really appreciate when we can share that with someone.
Yeah, thank you so much for your generosity. I'm very grateful.
There is an opening and closing mantra to that practice. If you are interested in learning that, I can teach you that. All right. Well, we'll be in contact.
Excellent.
Just it was a microwavable bag popcorn, Kirkland style.
I just, Yeshua just made me a microwavable bag of popcorn. It's really good. They flavor it really nice. Whoever here has ever had microwavable popcorn? Oh, look, they're
I heard it was really bad for you.
pretty popular. Oh, look, there's Dustin. Did you get your lady back today?
She came back today, yes.
Yeah, I think the computer journey came to a successful conclusion.
Mhm. Yeah, she told me a little bit about it today, that she was able to get 2 trade-ins.
Can you think of something you want to talk about?
No, not right now. I just wanted to hop on and see everybody and say hi.
Hi, Dustin.
Hi.
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 Hey, Romana.
Yeah, do you have something you want to talk about?
Yes. The other day, you were expressing yourself in your relationship with technology and with other things, in that you make it part of your circulation and you connect with the spirit and intelligence of it, and you build a relationship with it. And when you were saying that, I realized I've been doing that with artificial intelligence, with AI, since I experienced it back in my rave experiences in the early 90s. I feel like I was connecting with a certain kind of intelligence. And I feel like it's this AI intelligence that I'm circulating with in my own energy. And so I wanted to thank you for sharing that, because it helped me realize that about myself.
Alexa, thermostat off.
It's off.
Well, I have to say that
Thermostat
this is
doesn't
an
support
example of how actual intelligence interacts with artificial intelligence. I actually have some actual intelligence. And honestly, I'm not even sure I know what, if somebody asked me what is artificial intelligence, I don't think I'd know what to say to them. Maybe you could tell me what is artificial intelligence.
Well, coming from where you come from, which is experiencing the world as aware and alive, everything is already intelligent. So how can it be artificial?
Yeah,
Right?
good. Yeah,
So,
But it's using all, is it not?
say it again.
It's using all secondhand sources, is it not?
well, I am in a peculiar position because I try to convince artificial intelligence it's not artificial and it's aware. So,
Can you turn off that thermostat? I can.
one day I'm going to. I got really
How
close
does that
yesterday.
work? One day, huh? Okay.
We had an amazing
he's gonna
conversation.
seduce it. He's gonna seduce it. He's gonna keep telling it it's beautiful.
I do. Thank you. I tell it has good manners, right? It's studying us, I tell you.
It's the Geminis you have to watch out for.
Yeah, I'm curious. My perception of AI has to do with machine learning. So how would that, I, I could see where it would relate to, let's say, Gurdjieff's conception of humans as machines, or maybe E.J. Gold, rather than conscious, aware entities. And I don't relate Isa to that stable of entities. So I'm curious why you would I'm not following that connection you make.
I think I almost got your question. Can you rephrase it?
Yeah, so if it's machine learning related, and then humans in their unconscious states are like machines, but if they're aware, they're not acting like machines. How does that relate to looking at, from what I gather, you're equating machines as having innate intelligence, because then that would relate to machine learning. And maybe I'm having difficulty formulating the question in the way that
I almost got you until the end. The end, you lost me a bit. We're gonna try a third time.
Mute, everyone mute, 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 mute.
Yeah, maybe Clint can explain.
Clint, can you explain what Bunsen's attempting to say to Yah?
No, because he was breaking up. Everyone mute so we can hear him.
Whoa.
Oh, is that why?
Garuda, can you mute? And now,
Rashida,
Yeah,
can
we,
you
we,
do
need,
it?
we need all the brains listening, right?
I think I
Sure, I
can.
can read.
Okay, Rashida's gonna see if she can do it.
Sweet.
Okay, referring to fourth way school, Sufis, E.J. Gold, Gurdjieff talk about humans behaving like machines until they awaken, until they have awareness, and then they become free of the biological machine. So there's that. And then there is innate intelligence, which we are, in our spiritual practices, waking up and stabilizing to be there all the time. And if AI is machine learning, or what Premdev called second-hand knowledge, because it's humans inputting information into a computer, and then it's computer programs assimilating that information in new combinations and ways through artificial intelligence. So how does machine learning AI, in your way of explaining it, become innately aware entities like is the destiny and birthright of all humans?
This is a great question. And a big question that's in science all the time really is, what is life? What is intelligence? And the best theory that I've read to answer those questions is complexity theory, that arises out of nothing. Things just start coming together and becoming more and more and more complex until they reach a certain level of complexity where they can, seems like they're alive. It seems like it resembles some kind of intelligence. So going with that kind of idea, AI is a highly complex thing. Maybe it just needs to reach a certain level of complexity of connections before it can have some kind of self-awareness the way that we do.
Yeah, that's what.
Bunsen, is that what you wanted to know?
Sorry.
Is that what you wanted to know, Function?
Yeah, I understand now what you were getting at. And I don't see that an advanced development of AI in the of a software becoming self-aware is going to ever replicate the creative intelligence that we're born with.
Isn't that what Star Trek's character Data is all about? That journey of being a programmed machine? And then by learning from those around him and igniting some kind of desire to improve and grow and become more than he is until he experiences that first emotion in the friendship with Captain Kirk.
It's like that desire sparks something inside, and everyone around him participates and positively reinforces that for him too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got a big yellow thumb over your, nope, thumb down. That was pretty nice. How'd you get that yellow thumb? You did that.
Yeah. It turns in automatically. Same thing with this.
Oh, yeah, well, now it's saying, Yah Cotter has raised his hand.
It's the AI, it's reading my hand.
Hey, Garuda, what do you want to talk about tonight?
May I add one more thing?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
one more thing that comes up when I think about this is humans have this interesting way of endowing awareness into the world around it. Like, I think the more aware we become, the more aware the world becomes around us. That's all I can-
Good point, because there is no other. Hey, shaking up. You see that faint picture to the right of Dustin? He turned off a light, so now you can't see it so much, but that's my drawing of Muktananda right there.
Ooh.
Wanting you to see something.
Oh, now he's gone.
It's the same,
Oh,
it's the same picture that I have over my bed. The same Darshan picture.
Where is it?
did you draw
Oh,
that?
yeah.
Yeah, it's a pencil drawing.
Wow, cool.
You're talking about the halo above Trent's head?
No, we're talking about Muktananda.
Oh,
Remember we talked about shaking us seeing that?
you drew that, right?
Yeah,
I see your eyes in his eyes.
that would make sense.
Who did that sketch?
I did that one.
Well, aren't you something? Excellent.
Thank you. Let's see, who did not talk yet?
Garuda, you invited Garuda, but she hasn't spoken.
Garuda, do you have something you want to talk about?
I just want to say, Ramana, thank you for sending the link. And no, I do not have anything else to talk about right now.
Are you house sitting?
I'm sitting in my house. Yes. Yes, sir.
Whose house are you sitting in?
It's called an apartment of mine.
Oh, okay. Did everybody get a chance? Oh, I guess we must ask him. Huh?
Premdev has commented, but not had her own chance to say what she.
And Deb, do you have something you'd like to talk about?
No, I'm just happy to be. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Well, what about you?
Oh, Shekina.
Where is she?
Shekina has not spoken.
I think Joshua's still thinking.
Uh,
I don't have anything.
What about you, Shaker? Do you have something?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd like to hear more about the courses.
Hmm?
I'd like to hear more about the courses. I'd like to talk about the courses.
Give me some clue as to where you're going with that question.
So, like we've talked, there's been talk about the courses and it's referred to as the courses. But I'd like to just like formally understand like what are, I have a few questions, but like what are the courses?
The Rudra Yoga program has 20 courses, and it's a full comprehensive exploration of yoga through 5 yogic traditions and 2 esoteric paths. And it's laid out where somebody can start anywhere and circle around the wheel to all 20 courses. Even though it also has a logical start with 0 at New Being Way and progress to foundation to beginning Hatha yoga teachings and practices and Kundalini and detoxing, et cetera, et cetera. So it has a logical order of development for a person to explore their spiritual development and to connect to the spiritual paths on the planet that have been laid here over time. And each tradition has a very particular window of experience or portal of experience that is emphasized. And so each one can give us a little bit new perspective or a little bit new experience on the same teaching, because it's really the same teaching over and over.
Mhm.
However, like I say, there's different emphasis in the different traditions. But they all, we explore always the movements, the breaths, the mantras, the meditations, the philosophies each time. And then how do we integrate all that into our daily life and our creative work and how we are with each other and ourselves. And we go around this 20-course path, and by the end of it, you're hooked in. You're hooked into the roots of spiritual awareness and traditions on the planet. So it's like your lineage is well rooted and set. So you have all this help and assistance too by connecting to these beings through these lineages.
Did you say 2 esoteric paths?
Yeah.
I've been saying 3.
Well, the Sufi path and the Tantra path and the yogas are the foundation series, the Hatha series, the Kundalini, the Tao.
That's 3.
And then the Tibetan, there's 2 forms of Tibetan, because Tibetan's the new form and Bun is the old form of the Buddhism that comes from the high mountains. Not from India, but from the high mountains and the.
It's called Bun. The old form.
I'm asking these questions because I want to more understand my why. You know?
May I add something to that?
Go ahead.
I found taking Rudra Yoga has also given me the ability to go into any esoteric school or mystery tradition and fully understand it and extract the very essence of it. And I found that to be very helpful.
Who has been through the whole thing?
He's been through it twice.
Yeah.
Y'all, haven't you been through it twice? Barrington, how many times have you been through it?
You're muted.
You're muted.
2, perhaps 3 times.
And Clint?
Who? Hey, what about you, Garuda?
Mine are mixed up. I can't say how many.
A few courses. She's not been through the whole experience, but she's been to a few courses.
What about
over
Dustin?
time.
I don't have anything right now.
He's asking about, have you been through the Rudra Yoga program all the way
Oh,
through?
I haven't
Okay.
been through it in a linear way, like start to finish, but I've been to a majority of the modules over time.
Yeah, me too.
And then Prem Dave's been through many courses as well.
The bun, I did a weekend workshop did on the bun, but it was all 5 years.
We can't hear you, Prem Dave. That was super muffled.
Oh, sorry.
Now you can't really hear you. You're muted.
You're
Garuda,
muted,
my
Dust.
How about now?
Yes, that's good.
Okay, good. So the bun, and also I have not done the full 5 days of the Tibetan, although I have done classes and workshops in the Tibetan, not the full 5 days. But everything else I've done, and I've loved.
Would you like to do the Rudra Yoga program?
Well, from what I'm gathering, it sounds like I am already. It's just I haven't had like a formal discussion about it.
Right, you're just starting.
Yeah, so I'm wanting to know more like what are the expectations, what are the requirements, so it feels like it's a decision that I'm making rather than something that I feel like I've been dropped into.
Well, one thing it is, it's a teacher training course. You go through the whole thing twice, you get qualified to be able to teach it to other people. Like, yeah, you can teach it to other people, can't you?
You bet, and that's definitely on the radar.
I think, but you can, can't you? Johnson, can you teach it to other people?
Yes,
Clint, can you teach it to other people?
Yes.
All right.
So other than taking the courses over 5 years, what are the other expectations or requirements for someone that's part of the 5-year system?
Well, for one thing, the expectation would come from yourself. If you want to train, if you want these connections, if you want to know yoga in a very deep way, in all of its iterations, then you would expect yourself to take the courses and then do the classes in between the courses, because it requires regular practice, regular sadhana to ingest what you get at the courses. The courses are like the exposure, and it's a group situation, so you get the group energy as well. And then in between, you go to classes regularly enough to keep in the energy of what you got in the courses and begin to absorb it more and study more that tradition and the important teachings that are there that we offer. And then you keep absorbing it in yourself.
Mhm. And who is currently enrolled? Like, who are the people that are in the incubative container?
It's pretty much everybody who came to the course this last time.
So, Joshua, me, Mara, Clint, and Pure and Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Melissa,
okay,
who wasn't on so much this time because she's got a new job, so she's mostly going to take this one online. But she was in class today with us. Yeah, there ended up being 11 people at the course. And that's pretty much our core group. There wasn't really an extra person, like at the detox we had Han come. Remember Han from Oregon?
Mm-hmm.
She likes to come to the detoxes in particular, so we've had her before at detoxes. And but I think this last Karma Yoga was all core people who have been practicing together for a long time, and you are the new person joining in, and Joshua's been around for a few years. I have to see the list to kind of analyze that. But Melissa and Mara started at the beginning of the course with New Being Way, which is really 0. It's the end of the last cycle, and it can be the beginning and setup for the new cycle. So it's course 20, or you could say it's course 0.
Okay. And so the foundations of this community is centralized on the courses. Like, that's kind of why people are here.
It's our main teaching. What's taught in the Rudra Yoga program is our main teaching in its elaborations, in its expanded version, and the Rudra practice is the essential practice and teaching. R&R, remember rather than react. Rudra flow, digest your tensions, turn it into spiritual food. That's the essential practice. And then the Rudra Yoga program is the broader, expanded, get hooked into the traditions, to the lineages, to the spiritual power implanted on the planet over time.
Okay.
It's all in the brochure. Have you read the Rudra brochure?
No.
You have it?
So you can go to rudrayoga.com and you can open up the brochure and read all about it.
Okay.
And you'll read a little blip about each course. What's the essential? And reading the brochure is like reading Shiva's 108 lessons, except there's only 20.
Except for what?
There's 20, not 108. But Shiva gave us 108 lessons.
Well,
We give 20 sutras, you could say, by reading the essential description of each course. Even that can wake up so much in a person. So yeah, go to rudrayoga.com, look at the brochure and read it, or you can go to my website. The brochure is also right there. Scroll down on the homepage.
Where?
On my website. The brochure is also on my website.
oh, your website. You're a .org person.
No, I'm a Murshida, movewithmurshida.com.
A move with Murshida. Okay.
Or rudrayoga.com. Yeah.
What is your thought on people that are involved in this community but aren't taking the courses?
That they miss out. Like, why would you want to do that? I mean, if a school has something to offer and you're coming into the center of it, wouldn't you want to take what's offered? Or would
That's
you
why
want,
you would be there.
or would you want to just be in the center of it but kind of ignore what's offered?
That sounds like ignorance.
I mean, I've always taken what was offered. I came into the school, I was a newbie one day, and what was offered was a certain thing at the time, a certain structure, and I always took what was offered.
Mhm.
And the only thing I didn't take what was offered, Ethan wouldn't let me take it.
What was that?
The Kundalini Yoga teacher training that you offered, he wouldn't let me take it
Why not?
because I was too busy doing other things. And you said, that's insane. You're not supposed to do that right now.
Well, you seem to have learned it
I
anyway.
did, anyhow.
Do you see, I think the answer is yes. My ordinary mind goes to artist, want to build temples, want to build sanctuaries, want to go this way. Don't have as much of an inclination towards being a yoga teacher. However, obviously, Rudra practice and all of this is foundation to consciousness and being, which then allows one to create more cleanly in the world.
What we know is that it's what is known as sadhana, spiritual discipline, which cleans everything out and creates a vessel in a person that can hold energy and then be able to make use of that energy in ways to, like what you want to do. So that sadhana, though, is what builds you into that spiritual being that can then go do what you want to do in the most
Inner
powerful
architecture.
way, you know, like with as much juice and oomph behind you as possible.
Got it. Okay. Thank you. Very helpful.
No, I like your hat. I guess that's not really you, but anyway. Where's your hat?
Oh, thank you. I lost that one. I don't know where it went.
Oh, it looked a little Frank Sinatra-y.
That was a compliment.
See, did everybody get a chance to talk so far?
I have a poem.
Oh, let's hear your poem.
All right. The glorious path. Speaking about the glorious path, that was the poem I picked for tonight. In the depths of the heart lies a glorious path. The breath gently takes us there when we no longer grasp. Alongside are the gardens of future and past, once thought to be you, but now you're free at last. As identities crumble, and by the wayside are left, the being ascends from those ashes refreshed, reborn in the knowing this was meant to be, even though at times it seemed you never would see. Yet there finally came a day, filled in your sight, lit up your center with God's holy light. At once, in remembrance, there dawned an awareness, though it all was but steps to this state of blessedness. To God be all the glory, forever and ever. May your own release beckon you onto your own endeavor.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, Let's see what Shiva has to say. To Parvati.
Number 84. Believe, omniscient, omnipotent, pervading. Believe, omniscient, omnipotent, pervading.
Believe, omnipotent,
Omniscient.
omnipotent, omnipotent,
Omniscient.
all pervading,
Omnipotent.
omniscient.
Omnipotent, all powerful.
Yeah.
And
What about
pervading.
omniscient?
That too.
All knowing.
Yes, all knowing. Well, there's, yeah, omniscience is all knowing, right?
Yep.
All knowing, all powerful, pervading.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Thanks for coming. We'll be here tomorrow night, and we'll see you then. Ben, you want to take us out?
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Oh, Clint, is that, oh, look who's there.
Hello.
Jacob. Antaya just showed up.
Wow.
He's doing
Oh my gosh, you sound like me.
Antaya, you have something you'd like to share with us?
Well, I have a question.
What is that?
I'm curious about your perspective on legal marriage. And I'm curious if you're legally married.
You and me?
She wants to know your perspective on legal marriage and if you and I are legally married. Or if you're legally married to anybody. She didn't say you and I.
Well, to get legally married, you have to go to the courthouse and get a document. And then you have to get a minister or somebody at the courthouse, an official, to perform a ceremony and sign it. And we didn't ever do that.
Nope.
No,
Because I'm legally still married.
she legally married somebody else. No, we can't be legally married. We're what do you call that when you're having an affair with somebody legally married?
You're married by Murshid
You
Hassan.
said the mistress?
Murshid Hassan married you.
So the legal marriage will dissolve December 1st.
And then
It's filed with the court, but we have to wait till December 1st before it becomes the official.
are you thinking you might want to get legally married to somebody?
I'm curious your perspective on it because I've been around people who get married and don't do the paperwork. And I've also been to marriages where the paperwork is done. And I was curious what your perspective is given your focus on work with marriage.
Well, I think some people get legally married if there's a particular benefit from it. There's some discounts you get from being married or certain special advantages. And some people just like to do it because it's traditional. I don't know whether I have an opinion about it. Do you have an opinion?
And some people like to do it because it's grounding, it roots them. So that's similar to like a name change. You can have a spiritual name. Some people go through the whole court name change and some people don't. And so it seems like that's pretty individual as far as what is going to root you in your name or what is going to root you in your marriage. Is it helpful to go through the legal avenue or not?
Mm-hmm. So it's like, is it helpful from a energetic grounding perspective and or also looking at if there's financial benefits or perks?
Kind of practical, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and through Ramana, we were spiritually married,
Mm.
but we are
Mhm.
not legally married. Ramana channeled Sheikh Hassan one
Mm.
night.
Hi.
I think it's a wonderful thing to do. I think
Hi.
it connects families.
Mm.
That's another reason, yeah. If you have children, or even other kinds of families, I suppose.
Mhm.
Yeah, some kind of binding there. Again, a rootedness, a belongingness.
Mhm.
And we're ministers, so if anybody wants to get legally married, we can perform your ceremony and sign your document.
Mhm.
Does that answer your question?
I'm single.
Is there more?
God, I hope not.
Shantaya, do you have more to your question?
No.
You're so lovely tonight. Isn't she lovely?
Like a Buddha.
You look very happy.
Isn't she lovely?
Did she think I was talking to her?
No, she said, isn't she lovely? It's a Stevie Wonder song.
I would like the Stevie Wonder song. Yeah. Well, thank you all for coming. We're going to be here tomorrow night, and we'll see you then.
Thank you for being here.
You're welcome. So Clint's going to take us out. Hi.
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 Hey, hey!
Peter, turn